Good morning, good afternoon, and everything in between. Welcome to the AEL High School Cup for Marble Rivals Term 1. It's just me today, Matsy, coming to you live for the Marble Rivals. Unfortunately, Racquetz had some prior engagements, so they will not be here this week. Unfortunately, it's just going to be me, but that's okay. So, speaking of good things, everybody, let's start by saying a big shout out to our sponsors. But most importantly, it's our grand finals this week, so get keen for the games. But before we get into them, let's start by shouting out AGON by AOC, the #1 gaming monitor brand in the world. AGON by AOC provide best-in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. And next up, let's not forget them, it's Indomie, the noodle partner, made with high-quality flour and in selected ingredients and spices. A plate of Indomie mee goreng will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavors available today from your local grocer or at indomie.com.au. But last but not least, everybody, it is No Vape. So, the AEL, in partnership with the Department of Health and Aged Care, is promoting our You've Got No Game When You Vape campaign. Do you know the harms and risks of vaping? For more information, head to health.gov.au/vaping. If you'd like help to quit, check out the My Quit Buddy app. It helps track your progress and helps you to stay motivated. Or you can call Quitline on 137848 and talk to a professional counselor for free and confidential advice about quitting. So big shout out to No Vape there. Big shout out AOC and Indomie, all of our wonderful sponsors, helping us put on this lovely show here today. Speaking of the show, let's get kicking off with our first grand final matchup. Into the banner phase right now, it's MG Marvelous Rivals taking on the Trinity Titans. And what an exciting day ahead we do have. Just a reminder, everybody, it is going to be a best of 5 today instead of our usual best of 3. So, get keen for that. We get all the maps, all that juicy goodness. Speaking of goodness, bands, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Adam Warlock, and Penny Parker are going to be banned out. I think there was a little issue with Penny Parker recently with the mines, but they managed to fix that up. The devs nice and quick, so love to see how quick they are to resolve those kinds of issues. Big shout out to NetEase there for taking care of business. 30 seconds before we attack. Get ready for the next battle. I certainly will be. And so, taking a talk through our heroes today, we have on MG's side Luna Snow, Doctor Strange, Winter Soldier, Loki, the Invisible Woman, and none other than Venom. Similar on the other side, Invisible Woman, Luna Snow, Iron Fist, Groot, Jeff, and Captain America. So a bit of a different setup on the Trinity Titans side. Curious to see how it's going to play out. We don't see too much Iron Fist coming out these days, let alone Captain America. But I do like the team up coming out from Jeff and the Groot there. They can sit on the shoulder, go for the classic combo there. And it has worked out pretty wonderfully. If you can just keep your tank alive as long as you can. Speaking of, Destro already going down there. Great starter from the players in red in Trinity Titans. Looking to get a lot of damage through here. You can see they are locked in, loaded, and ready to go. Loki finds the Iron Fist as well. So a grand start from Trinity Titans here. Certainly on track for domination. We'll see what else they are going to be able to entail, though, because MG Marvelous Rivals, they've taken control of the point here. Good isolation coming out there from the Captain America. Whoopers 3, I really enjoyed how they used that little gap to isolate the Winter Soldier, take them out of the equation. Same now, you can see they've taken out the Invisible Woman. Loki going down as well. Really just biding their time here. Their targeting is flawless. And they do manage to find their way back onto the point with great haste. So they're just going to take a calm moment and just hold back as a team. Couple of ultimates already online, though, with a few more pretty much around the corner. Strange ult already locked in for MG there. They've also got Loki's ult pretty close by. And it looks like the Strange Portal is coming in. So they're getting straight back on that point. Do not want to allow them to build up more. And there's the Eye of Akamoto already fighting the Jeff. Great kill coming out from them. Loki locking in as well. Trying to do whatever they can for their team. No other kills going to be coming through just yet, though. A good kill from Destrol there, using the ultimate, jumping straight in, going again. Getting all the damage they can through there. A really great counter-attack coming through. Captain America going to be ulting through there, though, to try and keep their team alive. Great to see, because it makes sure that they can hold on to the percentage there. Keep use of their HP. Jeff ultimate seems to be on the way as well. That's so dangerous. There we go. Good swallow to come through there, throwing their teammates away. Oh, it is a huge push coming out from the team there. Jeff sends 3 players packing. Invisible Woman joins in as well. That is massive from Trinity Titans there. I thought maybe the Marvelous Rivals would have the control there, be able to turn the tides back in their favor with the ultimates that they locked in, but no. Trinity Titans, they just made the playbook there and managed to maintain control of the Mountsel here. Looks like Marvelous Rivals having a bit of a struggling issue there. One of their players seemingly out of commission for the moment, but hopefully back in due course. But speaking of due course, they are locked in. The ult comes out from Luna, though. This is great, getting that last bit of point percentage through, so then Marvelous Rivals have to play for that OT timer. If they lose this next team fight, that's the first point done and dusted. They cannot afford that. Speaking of, they've afforded the Eye of Agamotto there. Great way to dispel the point, disparage these players as far away as they possibly can. Try and build up that percentage. Incredible hook from Destrol there, locking in on those weaker characters like the Invisible Woman, like the Jeff. Make sure you get those HP bars down and nullify some of that healing. Otherwise, their team's going to be pretty healthy, staying up as long as they possibly can. But as long as they possibly can, it's Venom time. And they are going to be locked in into this choke. Good chance to build up that percentage themselves for the Marvelous Rivals here. Speaking of, though, here's the ultimate. They've gone again. A good use of the group wall, though, does push them back a second longer. They aren't going to make full use of that ultimate from Winter Soldier there, but it doesn't matter. Whoopers was on the point by them lonesome there. It does get punished for it. Groot coming in as well now. They've got the rest of the team here. It's a bit of a staggered approach, but it doesn't matter. The Groot ultimate ultimately doing its job there and does manage to get a lot of damage through. Iron Fist jumping in on them right now, but Luna Snow has found the perfect ultimate timing here, keeping their teammates alive as long as they possibly can, and they've taken out the opposing Luna as well. This is a great outcome, and gets even greater. The Eye of Agamotto comes out over and over again for this Doctor Strange. It just feels like it's being recycled time and time again here. Doctor Strange is unstoppable right now, and their team is reaping the rewards. Destrol is on a roll, absolutely locked in here. And without further ado, the point is pushing through to the 99th percentile. And that's the first point done and dusted. And complete reversal coming through from the Marvelous Rivals there. You can tell they are locked in, and they know exactly what they came here to do. Amazing stuff coming out from MG. They are a player down, and they managed to bring it all the way back. That is just incredible.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Really good result there, but granted, that is the only the first point here. They still need to play at least one more. They need one more point if they want to win, or Trinity Titans need to take 2 more if they want to sweep it back to a 1-2 on this first map here. We'll see what is going to be in store now as we jump into the next sector. Time's up. Snap back to reality. Iron Fist ultimate is on the way. Jeff's got theirs on cooldown. It's ready. Same now for Iron Fist. Luna Snow right around the corner as well. The only one available for the MG side is Venom. Still useful nonetheless, but Trinity Titans have got a few cards that they can play here. Speaking of, Whoopers now Holding back on point. Good lock in from Deathstroll there, trying to get a bit damage through. See if they can lock out some of those easy targets here. Venom just being so cheeky, just keeping them at bay, stabbing them in the sides there. This Jeff and as well as the Groot there, struggling on the point. But at least they've got each other. Venom now so far away from home, does get completely shut out. Tato is gone. And Loki could soon be the one following. There we go. Great early presence coming out here from the players in red on Trinity Titans. And they will be able to take control of the point here, forcing MG Marvelous Rivals a little bit further back now. Try and hit the reset and see what they are made of. And now pressing up into the fold again. I like how they can hold the stairs there. Just really keep them at bay. Venom, a valiant effort pushing in by themselves, though, trying to take out the weaker players, but ultimately it doesn't achieve what they made of it. But it does allow their team to push up into the point and manage to establish some ground there. So I think in a way it was a great distractive play coming from them. Ooh, speaking of though, it looks like now they've managed to get their sixth player back. MG Marvelous Rivals now have the full six-man, and they're taking advantage of all of their ultimates here. You can see they've managed to mop the floor with this point now and look to take complete control. 50% gains, though, for Trinity Titans. Certainly a solid effort irregardless. They've done a great job to just establish themselves there. Being able to push back onto the point, though, and get the reins over the percentage building again, that's going to be a bit of a difficult task ahead of them. You can see, trying to rely on that Jeff ultimate now. I like this. They're going for a bit of a counterplay. Bring their whole team through the Jeff ult and then just spit them all onto the point like a bit of a nasty surprise. There we go. The eyes on the prize. They jump straight into it, but MG Marvelous Rivals are ready for it. They've managed to take down one at least. Groot trying to rely on their ultimate as well. Here comes the counterplay, finding three players. Looking to see if they can do anything else here. Take out those Loki healing sentries. And Trinity Titans now fall back in the lead. Great efforts from them. Captain America trying to hunt them down as well. Invisible Woman, see you later. A strange portal on the way, though. They're trying to lock in on the healers, but now the rest of the cavalry has arrived, and they are doing heaps of damage onto that Chef and Groot there. But they're falling back onto the point, back to cover, back to their teammates here. And here comes the ultimate from the Winter Soldier. Incredible stuff there. We've got the Eye of Agamotto available as well, though. If they want to try and go for counterplay here, the time could be now. Speaking of, they're getting into it. Ready around the back there. All the damage onto Strange is great, and it could get even greater. The time is here or never. Let's see if it is going to be never. They're right in the fold right now. Surely it could be the moment. They've been frozen, though. This is a problem. The problem could be ceasing soon. Still holding back. Shields up. Are they going to make this happen? The Eye of Agamotto. There it is. They've locked it in. Trying to get some of their enemies out of the way there. And they've managed to get such a huge ultimate through. Amazing stuff. Say goodbye to Strange. And say goodbye to perhaps many more. Trinity Titans lock in as well. I love the trading of ultimates there. Jeff really locked in. A great response to the Eye of Agamotto. And we'll see what else they can manage to find. Well, they managed to find a lot. Because Trinity Titans lock back in. And we take it 1-1, everybody. Let's go. One last point on this first map of the Best of 5 series here. Can you believe what we have before our eyes, everybody? The first grand final of the day. Another one on its way later on in the day. And very excited for what's to come here. This has been culminating throughout the season. We've reached the top of the summit. And now, we will see who will be our first champion. Ooh, on the top side though, looks like they've lost their player again. Unfortunate for the healer player there, I think. A team up is coming through though. Destrol looking to lock in with the Namor there. So curious to see how that's going to play out for them. But we jump into it once again. Quickly pacing their way towards the point now. Players ready. And ready to respond at a moment's notice. Let's see if they can make this one theirs again. Namor finds the Iron Fist. A grand response there. And just look at that damage. They are focused up on all of their opponents. Pineapple Gamer and co are just leading the show right now. Groot and Jeff trying their best to stay alive. Jeff almost getting shut down there. Luckily, they have their own healing as well as other healers there to save their life. Otherwise, it could be see you later. Speaking of, they get the ultimate there. Groot doing a great job to lock him in place there. Now seeing an exchange of blows, if you will. Lots of damage coming through. Huge stuff there. They've managed to lock in. And now all that remains is Cap. Cap gonna rush their way away as quick as they can. Keep their lives so their team doesn't get too staggered here. Great use of the little healing point as well. Just stealing that away so they can keep themselves as healthy as possible. But they are still opting in to force back here. MG Marvelous Arrivals looking to just hold it back for a second now. I've got the Eye of Agamotto available on that Strange there, and many more ultimates as well, 4 as a matter of fact. That's huge. But we'll make it even huger in a minute. Whoopers goes down, a good kill onto the Captain America there. They are not able to deal with the Namor here. Ultimate comes out, really hindering them. Trying to make use of the Invisible Woman there as well, but there it is again. Destrol on an absolute rip and tear right now. Say goodbye to Groot, say goodbye to even more. They use their little sentries to get all the damage through. On the border of 50% right now. Certainly doing a great job. But this is only the beginning. And there's a Jeff ult on its way. I like this strategy. They've done it before. They're looking to do it again. Get to the point as quick as they can. Get absolutely launched. And I think that played out a little differently than what they thought it would. But it doesn't matter. They're going to be on to the point and now regardless. Using all those ultimates there. Trying to do whatever they can here. We'll see if it is going to work out. Nobody down yet. Certainly getting close. Speaking of close, they get too far. Iron Fist is out of here. More being targeted down. Destrol is just singularly focusing down so much of their capabilities. Luna Snow struggling to stay alive right now. Strange also locking in on them, but they still managed to stay alive through all this damage. They managed to find a way through. Incredible. They've managed to completely wipe them out, and that is going to be the point taken. Map 1 done and dusted here on Baron T'Challa. And just like that, MG Marvelous Rivals, they lose their player in between, but they do manage to take the map. So that is going to be that, everybody. 1 map out of a potential 5 here in this best of 5 series. They are absolutely thriving right now. And we love to see it. What a way to get the job done there. I'm really impressed with how this day has started out. But let's find out what the rest of the series looks like as soon as we load into the next map, everybody. While we get that one set up, though, we are going to be heading to a short break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back before you know it. And just like that, we are back in the AEL High School Cup Marvel Rivals Term 1 Grand Finals Day, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience there. We are on the border of getting into map number 2 of MG Marvelous Rivals, taking on Trinity Titans. Our next map is going to be Spider Island, Tokyo 2099, as a matter of fact. So get keen for that one, everybody. Definitely eager to see how things play out, because the MG Marvelous Rivals, they did have a little bit of a disadvantage, but they managed to really capitalize, bring themselves back into the fold there. So very keen to see what this next pick ban phase looks like, as we do get into it right now. And there we go. Captain America locked in and Winter Soldier locked in. I think both those picks were huge in the last section. Absolutely massive, to say the least. So, those make a lot of sense. And keen to see what's next. Black Panther going to be locked in there. It looks like Adam Warlock seemingly isolated out of this one as well. So, no Doctor Strange ban there. I feel like Strange would have been a good one, considering how much impact that made, even the Groot there. Because we saw, like, Groot was a pretty top contender in the tank department, but it's not meant to be today. So, they have allowed the Penny Parker to run through. We did see Penny banned in that first match, actually. So, curious to see what the result of that is going to be. Already, you can see Destrol on the Spider-Man team up there with a Venom as well. So, really looking to lock in on those team ups. Cloak and Dagger actually opted for on the Trinity side as well this time. Not going for the Invisible Woman here. They do have the triple healer set up again, though. So, very keen to see how it all goes. All the team ups you can see. Iron Fist, Luna, Jeff, Luna, all the team ups coming through there. So really going to be able to lock into a lot of potential here. And very curious to see if Trinity Titans can manage to bring themselves back here. Because we have seen the old classic combo. Jeff and Groot coming through. They can just ride on top. Kind of act like a bit of a fire hydrant, if you will. You know, just spray out a bit of damage there. Looking a bit like Mario and Super Mario Sunshine, you know. Just really able to just keep that team healed up with all those fresh streams of healing coming through.
3, 2, 1.
And just like that, we're fresh out the gates. MG Marvelous Rivals riding up high. Spider-Man already hunting down the Iron Fist. It's a battle in the skies here. Iron Fist can look to counter him out. Oh, they have been suspended, though. Good little nullification there. Hitting them against the wall, if you will. Iron Fist is trying to get the heck out of there as quick as they possibly can. A lot of focus on Iron Fist right now to see if they can deliver for their team. They are getting the heals up. Penny, good to use the egg, though. They can already gain a bit of momentum on the point this time, because obviously this is going to be a bit of a point push map as opposed to what we saw before. So, let's see how things go with this payload here. As we hold back for a second. Moon Knight is down. A great impact from Destrol there. Looking to see if they can do a bit more. Pineapple Gamer locking in on the healer as well. So low HP, but they can heal each other up because they're right next to each other. So it really makes it a task that's just larger than life to try and achieve here. Iron Fist locked in as well, pushing deep into the back line. They know they can get the heals. Speaking of heals, though, Luna Snow's ulted, so now they're going to be able to rush straight towards the point. Groot ult, though, locks him in place there, but with the Luna ultimate, it only does so much, right? Wall's ready as well now. Jeff ultimate prepared as well. Could see it come into play here. It's the Luna ultimate on this side. Does ultimately go down. There's the Spider-Man ultimate. It is massive. Look at all that damage. 4 players wiped out, using the supports as well, and they get the wipe. Huge impact there. Destrol starting off strong, and their teammates right there behind them and ready to wind it up. So that is more than likely going to be that first point locked in, unless Jeff and their teammates can stop them before they get to the gates there. They're pretty close by. Oh, you can see they are jumping in on this one. Do not want to allow them into that first checkpoint. Want to try and push it away, but it looks like they are going to be pushed away themselves. So trying to contend with this one, working against them, it would seem. They did manage to get a kill, but that's a singular kill and nothing more left. It's just going to be blood spilt and more ult charge ultimately built up for MG Marvelous Rivals here. So obviously they had a plan, try and go for that last second stall there. and see if they can stagger him out a bit longer, build a bit more time, but it just didn't work out for them. So they're going to feel the pain from that one. And already just staggering out the deaths a little bit, you know, pushed up a little bit too far forward, unable to work with their team. See, getting caught out, just little moments like that is really going to punish them in the long term, and Spider-Man is capitalizing on that. Getting right behind them, singling them out, just trying to isolate them from their team so they can't reach their full potential. It's just such a dangerous situation if you're on the side of Trinity Titans right now. You've really got to try and deliver the same kind of results yourselves, you know. Try and see if you can lock in for your team. Like Groot and Jeff, they're doing the best they can on the front line, but they do need to deal with some of those side impacts as well, and it looks like they did manage to find one. Slowing that Venom really locks them in place and allows them to isolate a kill as well. Great little moments like that. If you can build them all up, it builds up to one great moment for them, and it could be the moment they're looking for. But speaking of moments they're looking for, Magic going to be chosen this time. Does find Spider-Man. Moon Knight doing a great job, but also here finding multiple kills there for Trinity Titans. So this is the kind of defense we're looking for. See if they can find some trade kills back, or otherwise build up the impact themselves. Try and put their opponents to a halt here, even a slow there. And see if they can make the most of this situation. I'm seeing a lot of ultimates prepared. There goes one, Cloak and Dagger, trying to get heaps of that damage over time with their ultimate. The floor is lava right now. Spider-Man all in on it as well. Say goodbye. Almost got out of it, but they are deep into it as a matter of fact. And it will be. Lots of impact found. Jeff, good ult as well. Did find one out of it, but they are traded out just as quick there. Groot without the Jeff. Not going to be staying alive too long. Speaking of, Luna gone too. So lots of kills coming out across the top there. Venom finds a nice little surprise. Hello, Moon Knight. Maybe saying goodbye in a second, but they do have their teammates with them, so they should be able to get away. Venom, though, good to get in their face. Has Spider-Man there on support as well, so they can hold back a second here and just see if they can continue to push the point. There it is. They push it to the checkpoint there. Great pressure up front from the frontliners. And they are able to push it over the line there. But Trinity Titans, they're doing the best they can to hold them at bay here. It's just so difficult for them, though. They aren't finding the same kind of mobility that their opponents have here. They're trying to change things around. You can see that, right? We've seen a few character changes on their side. Invisible Woman even coming out right now. Crazy stuff. We'll see if they can find the impact that they need, though, because it's a world of hurt on their side. Good little boot there. Hello. Coming out. Goodbye, Tato. Perhaps goodbye to even more. Trying to heal them up and not going to be happening whatsoever here. Forced back. Venom ulting as well. Trying to do whatever they can here. Spider-Man has the ult. Oh, this is dangerous. This is so dangerous, but they use it. Good timing on the Cloak and Dagger ult, though. So they will be able to stay alive a little longer here and completely nullify that Spider-Man's damage. There's still more on its way now. Jeff, good kill onto Penny there. Goodbye. And maybe a few more of those going to be handed out in a second. Venom trying their best to make an impact here. Jeff, good ult, does manage to catch at least somebody, right? We'll see. As they fall off a little longer, there it is. 2 healers down and another one to follow. So that is major from Trinity Titans. They can really put this one to a stop for a little bit longer. All the time that's left now for MG Marvelous Rivals as well, only going to be just under a minute and a half here. They've managed to make great strides pushing towards the end, but they still need to make more of an effort if they want to be able to push it one step further. Ooh, I like what I'm hearing right now. It's Doctor Strange. It's a portal, and they are on a line. Let's see if they can manage to make it work, though. Already finding the Lunar Snow, looking to lock in on some of those lower HP targets. Find those healers, get them out of there as quick as they possibly can. Look at all that damage. They are locked into it. Strange is ready to make strange things happen when you're going around the twist. Speaking of, Moon Knight ult onto him. Jeff is gone. Groot going to be in a world of pain here, but here's the opposing Moon Knight ultimate. Getting at least one player down there. Pineapple Gamer trades it out just as quick, though. Luna Snow trying to find the Invisible Woman. Not going to be able to catch them, however. So they will fall off for a second there. But now, we are on the final stretch. A final team fight, perhaps. And there goes the Jeff. Caught in the eye of Hagamoto. Everybody's getting punished in spawn. They are staggering in right now, one after the other. Nobody can get onto the point. Luna Snow ultimate coming out for MG Marvelous Rivals as well. Managing to keep themselves alive here. Just push it over the edge. And that's what they came to do. 6 seconds left, and they get the job done. Amazing stuff coming through from the Marvelous Rivals there. But now, let's see what the Trinity Titans can do now that they're in the driver's seat. They played the defense. They did a great job managing to hold them out to 6 seconds there. It definitely was a hard-fought battle, but they made it work. Keen to see the change up now, though, and see what else is going to come out of the bag of tricks here. Speaking of, ooh, the lineup almost entirely changing for MG Marvelous Rivals. Look at the decisions here. The Thing is locked in. Potentially a Punisher coming out there. This is a very different MG Marvelous Rivals than what we saw on the attacking side. But same can be said of Trinity Titans here. Whoopers now opting in for the Thing. They know they had a pretty difficult time only playing around that Groot there. If they have that second tank, maybe they can form a bit more of a frontal offensive. But we'll see what is going to be on its way through, because they've locked in to the Namor as well. But Destrol is also playing the Namor, and we saw what Destrol can do on that one. Curious to see how Liverpool performs on it on the other side of the scale here. It's definitely a hard-fought endeavor ahead now. And let's see who can lock in and hold the line. Portal right out the front of spawn there. I like the strategy, trying to keep them at bay there. Ooh, one actually falls into it. Hedgian is down. So that is unfortunate. Nice strat from MG Marvelous Rivals, though. It does hold them, at least for a second there. They're trying to push around it. Portal is now gone. So, good stuff coming out from them. The Battle of the Namors. The Spears at distance. Really making an impact here. Curious to see what else they are going to be able to pull off. Certainly going to be something, isn't it? Something for the ages, but Destrol is down now. Liverpool does manage to find the impact, but impact has been made from the Punisher as well. The turret keeping the damage pumping out there, at least for a little bit. And more could be following through. Oh, that's huge. Liverpool using the sentry. He does manage to find that Punisher, just spraying damage out there. And more could be following up. They've managed to break past that first choke as well. Really great efforts coming out from Trinity here. Just to try burst ahead, because it's been difficult, but we'll see if they can manage to make this a reality. Thing pushes up. And Trinity Titans are locked in at the moment. Really finding their true potential on this attacking side. Like the defenders now, MG Marvelous Rivals, really struggling to find their mark here. I like the turret coming out, but Trinity Titans ultimately have a really effective response system. As soon as that turret comes out, they're pretty much all locked into it and shut it down as quickly as they possibly can. So because they're managing to find these ways to just unravel so many of the pieces, it's just working so well for them. They managed to find such a quicker response forward. Like they're pushing pretty much all the way through with little to no resistance there. And they now push it over the line. MG Marvelous Rivals have made a bit of a change up on to the Strange, onto the Magneto now. To see if that will work out for them. 2 tanks, 2 DPS, 2 supports, as opposed to their opponents on 3 supports. 2 tanks and 1 DPS. So curious to see which one will work out to find success at the end of this endeavor. Speaking of endeavors, they found 4 kills. The Eye of Agamotto was activated, among other things, and it does allow them to wipe out those attackers and finally get a moment's grace, a moment's reprieve from the enemies before them. But because they just pushed that checkpoint, they're right around the corner and ready to do it all over again. So, Penny Parker being a bit cheeky, pushing around the back there, trying to put those mines on towards the back of the point. Really not giving our defenders here a lot of breathing room. Speaking of breathing room, somehow Lunar Snow has gone off the map. I don't know if it was a strange portal or something else. But speaking of off the map, Destrol almost got thrown off the map and managed to get into their invulnerability bubble and managed to keep themselves alive. So, poor Jeff, not really finding as much impact as they would like out of their ult there. And they are going to be counted out entirely. Allowing now for the counter assault pretty much fully coming through from MG Marvelous Rivals here. Getting the shots locked in, Eggs down, Penny Parker down with it. But now Pineapple Gamer has gone too. We'll see what else they are going to be able to match up for though. I am Groot. They certainly are. Magneto's ultimate could be perfect, honestly. If they manage to push their way through that little choke there, might be able to do something with it. Speaking of, though, Punisher trying to get away with their zip line. It's just not happening, though. Penny Parker getting pretty low down as well, but the healers are doing their job and doing it well. Already up to half HP. Good ultimate from the Namor there. Try and disparage them for at least a second longer here, but Namor is down now. So they won't be able to stop them for all too long. But at least they're doing a great job of just biding their time. 2 minutes to go is all they need if they want to win this map out. Just defend successfully for 2 minutes here. And Trinity Titans, they've got the pressure on them to push it to that next checkpoint. A good response from MG and Marvelous Rivals to change things up, but it can only work so well. Speaking of so well, Magneto taking on the Penny here, have not taken out that egg, so that's really just going to keep hindering them. They're forced to try and dish out damage at the front on their lonesome. Will fall back eventually. Now look to do a little bit more around the sides here. Strange Portal, I hear that, and they are going to be looking to get their way through, maybe. As you can see above the point there, Pineapple Gamer and Co. getting all the damage through. That turret, huge. Does lots of work for them. They can just jump through and continue to push ahead and hold back. They're pretty close now to that next checkpoint, but Marvelous Rivals, they've done a good job to hold on to them. Spider Time comes out. It's Alter for Penny Parker there, but it doesn't last all that long at all. They rush too far ahead of their healers, and they suffer the consequences. At this point in the game, this could be a really damaging blow to them, because they need as many of their teammates up as they possibly can, and now they're being staggered out. Groot's down, Penny's down, their healers are slowly going down. They need to be careful, but the same can be said now with MG Marvelous Rivals. They're pushed all the way to their spawn. Magneto is now isolated from his team. He might actually get caught here, and this could be the real recipe for a huge counterattack, because the ult comes out from the Jeff there. They find the Strange. Now they've found Punisher as well. They're taking out the opposing pieces. 5 seconds to go here, but this could be the run they need to get it over the line. They're taking out those healers. The stagger is being made. This is huge from Trinity Titans right now. They've really managed to play their cards right, playing it patient in those crucial moments. But they still have to fight on, and all those pieces are now back on deck and ready to try and stop them. Speaking of trying to stop them, Eye of Agamotto comes out, and they have stopped them in their tracks, but it's only going to do so much here. Strange doing all the work right now, trying to lock in, see if they can keep them off the point. Trinity Titans, good on the Lunar ultimate, keep themselves healed up as long as they possibly can here. Strange tries to stop them, but Whoopers 3 breaks them free, and they push it over the line. Another minute and a half on its way through here. This is quite the result indeed. They are doing work right now and keeping this one locked and loaded. And let's see if they can push it one step further to the last point of the map. Destrol on the Namor. Tato on the Punisher. We've got the rest of their team ready and waiting as well. Magneto ultimate ready to be played out as soon as possible. The damage is certainly being placed here. They could find the moment. Speaking of the moment, by Jeff. That's a big one. But taking out one of the healers, they might be able to do more. There it is. The Eye of Agamotto slows them down at least for a second here. Now trying to push straight into it. Luna Snow goes down. Looking to see if they can go for the counter Magneto ultimate. They do catch out the opposing Luna Snow there. Trying to see if they can manage to push out the rest of the team here. They've been stuck in place, but Whoopers goes down. Goodbye Magneto. They can see the Groot there. They're going to slow it down to almost a hold here. Comes Strange. They take out the Cloak and Dagger here. Slowly but surely, the pieces coming unraveled, taking out those healers there. Luna is out of here and more to follow. They've only got 11 seconds to go, and this turret is just doing so much damage. No one's dealing with it. It's from a distance. That is huge from Tato. We love that positioning, and they've got the ultimate locked in as well. They can use that whenever they please, but they don't have to. MG Marvelous Rivals find a successful defense there and manage to find a second map in their favor. What an incredible spectacle we have before our eyes today, everybody. That was a map for the ages. Rin Rin Go Go is the one to take it. The MVP on the Invisible Woman. What a result there. Can you believe it? And they're now up 2-1. What a way to get it done. My gosh. I cannot believe what we have seen today. MG Marvelous Rivals lock it in, but not easily by any stretch of the imagination. Trinity Titans are fighting their hearts out, giving it their all, and they are putting on such an amazing match for us. You cannot ask for anything better. And next, we are going to be on to map 3. Will it be our third and final map? Or will we go the full distance and see a full reverse sweep for the full 5? That's up to Trinity Titans, I suppose. And up to MG Marvelous Rivals. And we'll find out how it's all going to go down once we get this next map set up right after this break. Welcome back, everybody, to the AEL High School Cup Term 1, a final day of Marble Rivals, and we are locked and loaded into Shin Shibuya, Tokyo 2099, going to be our third map on this best-of-5 series. MG Marvelous Rivals are up by 2 maps at the moment. They have played absolutely incredibly. And we have Trinity Titans really giving it their all to try and bring a map back here. It has certainly not been a one-sided affair by any means, but that doesn't mean that there could be a change on the horizon. The wind could change. Speaking of the winds changing, it's time to look at the picks and bans. So, let's take a look right now. First locked in, goodbye to Captain America and goodbye to You're Gonna See My Venom. They are not going to be seeing that at all, but consistent ban all through the series now coming out again. It's Black Panther. Good night. We will not see you in this game. And it's possibly Adam Warlock. No one else locking in yet. Ooh, they're pondering Winter Soldier. Yep, Winter Soldier is out. So we will not be seeing Winter Soldier. Adam Warlock is locked in. Now that's very dangerous because see, Adam Warlock hovered immediately from Ringogo there. So very crazy to see that one coming through. They were pondering on banning it, but they've opted in to ban out the Winter Soldier instead. They know the impact that can be made with that one, but I mean, it seems like Destrol is very consistent on every character. But speaking of differences in this matchup, I'm already seeing multiple. 1, Destrol is on the Hela. 2, we've got Adam Warlock coming through on Ringogo there. And 3, the Scarlet Witch has actually made their first appearance in this series. So definitely a very different lineup heading in on both sides. You know, we see the Magneto is making his way through on both sides again, so that's going to be a consistent factor here. But I'm very curious to see how things go down, in particular with the Hela on the side of MG Marvelous Rivals now, as well as that Adam Warlock. That resurrection potential for MG Marvelous Rivals is so deadly. Like, they've been able to play pretty deadly before, and they can get themselves back with the Strange Portal, but the resurrection potential from Adam Warlock also unlocks a plethora of just counter-attack potential. So keen to see how Trinity Titans respond to that now. And there's the portal already trying to do a bit of damage onto the point there. You'll love to see it, really just trying to lock in, get as much damage as they can through there. They've already killed someone, as a matter of fact. They're surely thinking about jumping through, you would believe, but maybe not. Good kill from both sides, however. Destrol's down. They do find one of the tanks, though, so I think that's even more of a high-impact kill to come out there. Doctor Strange really making great use of their shield, just trying to really balance out the damage, you know, deal a bit of damage and just cycle it across there, recharge. They're just on a bit of a roll, you could say. And speaking of, really biting into my words there, taking out the Scarlet Witch immediately, making use of their little levitation, and they do manage to shut them down almost entirely. KO coming out on the whoopers there. They're hunting down this healer. The whip comes out, and they whip him into shape. I think they might have seen the Jeff around the corner. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, there we go. Chasing that down. That's another kill on its way. So MG Marvelous Rivals locked and loaded here. And that's the first point. Locked in for the payload phase.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
So very curious to see how this one is going to go down now. As the Scarlet Witch goes down again. Groot following through as well. Here comes a bit more. They find the lock-in, taking down player after player. The healers are ripped apart layer by layer. And more to follow, it would seem. A lot of frontal potential here from the MG Marvelous Rivals side. They've left a couple of players just towards that point there, so at least they can get a little bit of push potential, while the rest of the team just holds the line, keep their enemies at bay so they cannot stop them from advancing forward with grace here. The cart just keeps going forward. They don't stop. Speaking of not stopping, Groot uses the ult there. I don't know if it made too much impact. Speaking of impacts, though, they're frozen shut and locked the heck out. So Hela going to be making usage of their abilities there. Oh, there's the Scarlet Witch. Doesn't get too much out of it. And there's another one. Magneto jumping in on this one. And they find the Lunar Snow. Hold was good for a second there, but not good enough. Use of the right click on the Hela, do a bit more damage over time. Remember, Go-Go brings himself back as well. So that's another advantage of the Adam Warlock. You know, even if they go down, they can come back. They can bring their teammates back. They're just everything going back. So, Cloak and Dagger jumping into the ult there. Good backline potential. See if they can bully them out with the lava. Damage over time. Hela now jumping into the ultimate phase, though, trying to deal as much damage as they can for the backline here. Groot is getting the full force of that punishment and say goodbye to the majority of their team there. Magneto, though, tries to go for the ult. We'll see if it does manage to work out pretty effectively. Hela, a little bit too deep there, so it does work out for Liverpool. Namor will be able to capitalize on that one. Maybe find a bit more of an advantage. Strange. Ooh, so close yet so far. They are getting a bit close to this one, though. Whoopers is down, so goodbye, Magneto. Jeff almost caught off guard as well. And there goes the Cloak and Dagger. So they're locking in here. Nice levitation from the Strange there. Just avoid that Jeff ultimate. They have 3 enemies caught. They're not going to get to the ledge in time. So that's going to be just good to stall them a second. No kills coming from that, though, so unfortunate for the Jeff. But Marvelous Rivals going to be very happy with that result. And now they push on to the point once again. We've already passed that second checkpoint there. Onwards and upwards towards greatness, you could say. And we'll see what else is going to be on its way through now. They hold back a second. Jeff out of the equation again. A good shutdown from Lunar Snow there. Groot ultimate comes out. Namor also trying to dive in here, but not making the impact that they would like. Strange ultimate is available as well. I love the huge damage potential coming out from Strange right now as well. They're just focused up here. Eye of Agamotto could be on its way very, very quickly. They're all stacked up. Maybe after that Lunar ultimate, we'll see what comes out. There it is. Eye of Agamotto comes out. They're already fine. Kill after kill. Looking for even more. Hela's ultimate doing work right now also. And that is a team wipeout. Incredible ultimate combination there. Jumping in on the Eye of Agamotto. Getting out that Hela ultimate to dish out some major damage there. And they get the job done. Even trying to lock them into their spawn with portals is massive because they can't stop them on the point at all. They're just locked out, looking confused, and all the meanwhile, MG Marvelous Rivals have pushed the point. So a nice final touch, the cherry on top, if you will, to solidify a successful first push there. Now jumping into the flip of the coin, though, it's Trinity Titan's turn to get onto their attack. And we'll see if they can find a bit of a different approach heading into this section now. Because they certainly did look very confident the last time we saw them on that payload, heading into an attack section. They looked really good. But will they be able to make it good enough to keep this series alive? Because if MG Marvelous Rivals win it out here, that is going to be game, set, and match. Our champions will be crowned on this side of the grand final. And then we'll be on to our next grand final. So we'll see what is going to be on the horizon here. Will it be MG Marvelous Rivals finding a successful defense? Will it be Trinity Titans taking their steps 1 point further forward to go to map 4? It all goes down to this. Imperative to know, though, Trinity Titans, they need to push it to the end for 1, but they need to win it out in overtime if they want to win the map. So, lots more work for them. MG Marvelous Rivals, they just need to successfully defend here. Their journey a little bit shorter, you could say, but it might be all the more longer, considering how much time you have to keep your enemies at bay. And speaking of, it seems they're already doing a great job of keeping them at bay. They're pushing them into spawn right now. Destrol is just fighting for the ages. Somehow they get out of there alive. 38 health and a dream, and that dream comes true because they're alive. And now looking to get behind their enemies again, just be so menacing to them. a thorn in their side, if you will. Ooh, Destrol in a bit of a precarious sort of situation now, but they're still alive, they're still breathing. Well, no, they're not anymore. Speaking of, that has opened the gates now for the enemies to get a little bit closer to the point, but, I mean, they've managed to delay them almost a minute, and they haven't even seen the light of the first point yet, so definitely doing a great job of stalling them so far. You know, I heard use of the portal come through as well, just really trying to do everything within their power to make the most out of their abilities here. Strange doing a great job to build up that ultimate percentage there, get those whips through, just really try and keep the enemies out. They're taking a lot of damage for sure, but that's what their healers are there for, to keep their teammates alive so they can do as much impact as they possibly can. Making use of the Lunar Snow ultimate, the confidence grows. They find 2 kills out of that, and they can fall back to rely on the point, make sure they reset, and try and keep their enemies at bay from a safe distance. They can't afford to overextend because that creates a grand opportunity for their enemies to try and get them to a point here. Speaking of, they are going to be able to find a couple more kills now. Liverpool Whoopers are down. Adam Warlock ultimate is available if they need it. Destrol goes down there. Good job from Tiger Dog there. Cloak and Dagger on the point, really trying to stall them out here. Adam Warlock holding back and giving out all the heals that they possibly can, though. Really just making a grand impact for their team here. We'll see what else they are going to be able to push out of it, though. A minute 45 seconds is all that's left on this first point now. Spider-Man does have ultimate if they want to delay him a little bit longer, but I like how they're kind of stalling it out. They know the time is of the essence here. And if they hold on to those ultimates for one big last potential play, it could be huge. But speaking of huge, they found a massive ultimate. The Eye of Agamotto comes out, and they will be able to find lots of kills from that one. What a way to get it done there. They completely reset their enemies. And that is going to be a way to push them back, stagger them out. And this is exactly what you want to be seeing here. They are forcing them back, bypassing the minute mark now and getting kill after kill. They are locked in to spawn a prisoner in their own spawn point. They need to form a jailbreak, and quick. Portal coming out right now. They're trying to see if they can get onto the point, sneak past their enemies somehow. Maybe it'll work. In fact, it certainly will work. But Cloak and Dagger is now ulted onto the point, trying to stop their enemies, and Destrol still in the back line does manage to get some impact out of this one. They're falling back. Root's ult comes out as well. Destrol's down, and now they find the Magneto ult waiting for them here. Tiger Dog is down, and more things could be on their way as well. Adam Warlock ready. Tries to bring their things back online. Eye of Agamotto comes out. It's all working out for them here. Lunar Snow does the job. Jeff is back with the ult. Will they be able to get over the edge, though? No, they will not. They are going to be shut down quickly, decisively, and that timer runs its course. And just like that, Trinity Titans are not able to push it over the line. That is going to be game, set, and match. The best of 5 reaches its conclusion. The champion has been crowned as MG Marvelous Rivals. What a way to get the job done. A best of 5 series, and Pineapple Gamer finds the impact they need. Huge stuff coming out from that Doctor Strange there. Amazing result. If I had to pick an MVP out of the day for MG Marvelous Rivals, it would certainly be a difficult decision, but I think Pineapple Gamer, certainly one of the top candidates. Amazing stuff coming out from them, and very keen to see what else is going to be on the horizon here. Pineapple Gamer doing great work for their team, and certainly can be said for the rest of their players as well. Destrol, a great thorn in their side, and more to come. But speaking of more to come, we certainly saw great stuff coming out from our others as well. And curious to see what else is going to be on the horizon. But we got one more series today, everybody. So while we get it set up for our next grand final, we are going to head to a short break. We'll be back before you know it. G'day! Welcome back, everybody, to the AEL High School Cup Marble Rivals Term 1. It's Matsy, coming to you live for the Division 1 Grand Final. It is none other than BSDE Infinity Stones taking on... Who could it be? MG Bears. It would appear to be their opponents here. So, very keen to see how is this one going to unfold. Will we see any difference between our last series and this one? Let's find out as we get into the pick fan phase. Here we go, everybody. First band locked in. Hulk and Black Panther. Looking to be the bands first on the chopping block here. What else is in store? None other than Cloak and Dagger and Spider-Man. Looks like they know each other's picks through and through. And they're going to be panning those ones through, but let's see what is going to be unfolding pick-wise. I can see already Wolverine locked in. We didn't see Wolverine at all in the last series, actually, so very different picks being locked in comparing the two divisions here. Very curious to see how it all unfolds, though. I can see Fruital locked in on that Doctor Strange there. We got Mantis coming out. We didn't see Mantis at all last time. Luna, Namor, Winter Soldier, Jeff potentially on the top side. And we've got Storm locked in for the MG Bears, Luna, Invisible Woman, Racquetz, and the Strange and Wolverine. So, similar picks across both teams, but also some big differences. We haven't seen Storm at all either all day long, so really curious to see how this is going to work out for them, because I love the unique potential, right? I love the unique capabilities of every roster, and seeing, I suppose, them really just solidify their identity as a roster. So very, very keen to see how this one all works out for them, whether they can really tap in and reach their full potential as we jump in to the first map of this series. Best of 5 as well, by the way. Strange Portal coming in. They got teammates in the front, teammates in the back. They don't care. They are locking it back in. And they are going to be trying to meet them eye to eye on the front lines here. Really keep them at bay in this choke point so they can keep themselves healthy and ready to take that first point. So really solid position they've placed themselves in here. Speaking of already getting a bit crazier, the MG Bears have found the first kill on the Fruital. This is a dangerous endeavor indeed. Trying to get that initial point percentage, it just ain't working out. MG Bears, they lock them out almost entirely and now look to switch things up, take the point in their own favor. So the portal coming through from Fruital and Co did not work out at all. You can see immediately Fruital's changed off to the Thing. They only wanted to be the Strange so they could play with that portal. Now they're onto the Thing. They've changed their approach almost entirely tank-wise. Interesting thing is as well, both teams playing with one tank only. MG Bears now really doing a great job of just keeping them out. Already up to that 20th percentile mark and more coming. So we'll see what else is going to be on the horizon for them here. Ready for action, apparently. So, keen to see what that looks like in just a second here. As we hold back a second longer now. I'm sure it certainly did. And definitely keen to see how this one all plays out now. Rampage. Gonna hold back Storm. Storm's in with their ultimate there. Good kill onto the Jeff there, but they are completely shut out by McBoonoo. Sunderman does get taken out as a trade though, and just haven't been able to get any closer to this point pretty much whatsoever. Fruital struggling in the HP department, forced to fall back there. Should be healed up in just a second though. You can see they're still more towards that halfway point. Speaking of, nice Namor ultimate. That's huge damage in the backline there. This is the kind of counterattack they needed, and they capitalize entirely. Getting those hooks through, they're managing to shut those opponents down. This is the momentum they needed. The change up of pacing to finally get back in the driver's seat. And they find another kill onto the Invisible Woman as well. So a really good change up. They can stagger that kill out as well. Wait a little bit longer. Build up a slither more percentage onto the point here. Bear in mind, this is going to be the first to 2 points on a map like this. So we're only fighting for the first point. kind of like a mini best of 3 within the best of 5, you know. But we jump into it. And let's see how it all goes down. Heading into the deep end of this one now. McBoonoo, ultimate ready. Shots coming through. 1 for 1 here. Can lock in on the ult if they need to, but that's not going to be a requirement as yet. Mantis doing a great job just dispersing out their healing to their teammates. But speaking of their teammates, they're getting kills right now. Strange goes down. They're taking down a Storm. Everything working out for them here, pushing them back to their spawn. And they will be able to press them back quite the distance. Ooh, I can hear a portal being activated, it would seem. So they're going to be aware of that, falling back very quickly, and there it is. They're ready for it. They have the Luna ultimate, so even if they try and activate things themselves, that Luna ultimate's in place on both sides, so they're pretty much at a standstill, at least for the moment here. Uh-oh. There's the Jeff ultimate, picking up the Invisible Woman, but Jeff goes down, and they are going to find Frutal as well. This is the impact you need for MG Bears. They do find the Storm back, sure, but the MG Bears now back in the driver's seat. Wolverine trying to find Winter Soldier. It's so close. That battle could have gone one way or the other, but ultimately Wolverine a little bit more aggressive there and does place MG Bears back in the driver's seat. Close towards the end of this point. They get onto the point. No more. Takes them down, but Wolverine trying to jump onto the Strange. A good use of the levitation there. Eye of Agamotto comes out. They are stunned out here. The players in blue. BSDE struggling now. That Eye of Agamotto was massive, but no. MG Bears find their mark and take control in the end. The ultimates pouring through, and that's going to be the first point taken by the MG Bears. What a way to get it done there. You can see they are putting the yards in. They are working hard for this one. But it's the first of 3 points in order to take this map. Well, first of 2 points, apologies, in order to take this map. There's a maximum of 3 points, and we could be heading there if BSDE Infinity Stones win the next 2 in a row. But MG Bears, they win 1 more. And that's going to be that.
You know my weapons can still lock onto you even when you're invisible.
So, here we go.
Oh
My gosh. Next sector of the point. Next sector of the map, as a matter of fact. We've got McBoonoo with the ultimate available there. Definitely can make an impact on that one. Go again. It's kind of like riding a roller coaster at your favorite theme park, you know? Again. If you're into roller coasters, that is, but we'll see what is going to be heading into this one. Wolverine very close by to that ultimate as well. Can make a big impact for MG Bears off that one. That's going to be a danger. High voltage. Speaking of, it's time for the again zone. Wolverine may be looking to do a bit of the same. Frutal goes down, however, good isolation into the tank there, really allowing them to put the hard yards and get the impact out of that one. And forcing BSDE Infinity Stones to hold back a little bit here. They have to restructure their approach. But they have managed to get themselves onto the point at least. So MG Bears changing things up, slowing things down as well. They're going to give that early point percentage. Try and get a bit close. Uh-oh. Wolverine close to the Punisher there. They do fall off though. Perfect timing. But that percentage is building up now. And they need to think about how they want to take this one down. Speaking of taking down by Strange, they are taken off the map. That is a huge trade-off. Good gamble, you know. They take out themselves on the Wolverine and they find the tank. That's huge, but speaking of huge, they're still on the point here. The Infinity Stones have not let go of this point at all. They aren't able to find a way in at the moment, the MG Bears. Like, they did find the Strange, sure, but they aren't able to find the rest. The rest of the players are working very well together to keep hold of this point. They're almost at that 50th% mark, but now the counter push is coming through. MG Bears realize they need to get a move on, otherwise this percentage is just going to keep building. Speaking of, now MG Bears, Eye of Agamotto comes out. They found 2 kills. Frutal, good counter there. BSDE are back online there, back in charge. Storm comes back from the dead there. Good use of the rocket utility. Does manage to find McBoonoo there. And another one bites the dust. Both DPS are out. That's huge from Storm. Percentage still building, though, for the Infinity Stones. So if they drag this fight out, it's only going to benefit them. Speaking of benefits, though, we do have the Jeff trying to get them off the map. They're not going to be able to get there quite quick enough. So it will build up to 76% for BSDE Infinity Stones. Still making large strides in the early game here, but MG Bears now have that point control. We saw how they were able to take advantage of that into the last series, really able to make such significant strides for themselves, and very curious to see if they can take it one step further heading into this next one now. It's going to be a hard-fought battle, and Storm is just playing such a sneaky game, hiding from vision there, really picking and choosing their line of sight so their enemies can't just lock in and just take them out without a second thought. Speaking of, though, Storm trying to find the Invisible Woman there. That was a lot of damage. Speaking of damage, McBoonoo is finding the again show. And they are finding all their enemies one after the other. Storm not really able to make much of anything there as they take the point back. And they use again. This is crazy coming out from BSC Infinity Stones. But speaking of, Strange Portal comes out. They have 3 ults available as well. Both teams, Eye of Agamotto comes out. It looks like BSDE Infinity Stones use it first, though. I think that both teams used it, as a matter of fact. But the Infinity Stones get more impact out of it and are managing to isolate these kills one after the other here. They push it all the way to the overtime timer, but the Infinity Stones will take it over the line in the end. So, a very dominant approach onto that next sector of Biran T'Challa there. And we head to the Imperial Institute of Science for this third and final point here in map 1. Who will be able to find themselves the victory here? Who will find themselves up by 1 map? It's certainly a tough call to pick this one through, but we'll see who can manage to take victory. Winter Soldier giving themselves a little bit of a voice line there, but both teams, good slice of the pie early on. I really was impressed with how BSD Infinity Stones managed to settle themselves on to the point there. It was kind of like an iron fortress being built. Almost impenetrable, but they managed to really use their opponent's momentum against them, and it worked out so well. They take that percentage, even gave them a little bit of percentage to play with, but then they just stole it straight back to head towards the final stretch there. But MG Bears, you know, they've got confidence in them as well. We saw how they took that first point on this map. We know they're capable. And they've got that Storm ultimate ready to be activated as well. Wolverine and Rocket right around the corner too. Certainly keen to see what that's going to look like. Speaking of, the Wrath of the Goddess, here's Storm. All the damage is coming in. Look at that. Taking out 2 players, almost onto the third as well. That is massive stuff coming out from Storm there. Just look at that. It never ends. And they force them off the point with such ferocious might. And take control of that first fight. Percentage going to MG Bears right now. Good use of the ulti. And they have a couple more online as well. They want to keep control of that point too. But let's see what they are going to be able to do as they hold back for a second here. Already counterattack coming in from BSDE Infinity Stones. Good attack out of the site there. But Storm going to be able to find the Strange. Good shots coming out there. The turret out for Punisher as well. They do press out a bit of damage, but not enough to take him out quite yet. Step back for a second here. Infinity Stones struggling to find room for a counterattack here. They're forced into this choke point, and all the while, that percentage just keeps building up. No one is able to dismantle it. Above the 55% mark, and more could be on its way. Speaking of, the Wrath of the Goddess is here. Storm's ulted again. Strange, good on the shield. They are able to stop their team from taking some of the damage there, and they do take out the Storm as well. So great that they come into this one prepared, I suppose. As soon as they take out the opposing Strange, they might even have the opportunity to use the Eye of Agamotto should the need arise, but considering the kills are running through, that'll not even going to be required at this point. Good timing for them on the Infinity Stone side. They built up all the way to 80% on the opponent's side there. That is huge. But it could get even worse for them. Speaking of, hold them back at the choke point for the moment. Eye of Agamotto available should they need it. They can see they're trying to push above, trying to push below, really just split the attention there. And they have lost the Invisible Woman in the meantime. So good kill coming out from Winter Soldier there. Still going to be holding back though. And the old percentage building up. MG Bears have the Eye of Agamotto as well now. Oh, Storm getting punished right now. That is dangerous. But they've got their healers prepared. Speaking of healer prepared to go in for the cause. Lunar Snow ults through. Look at all that damage coming out. Mantis is down as well. They're really locking in here. You can see Brutal goes down as well. This is a problematic time for BSDE Infinity Stones. They need as many players alive as they possibly can. If they lose out the players here, get those staggered deaths, it's going to be hard to get onto the point. And speaking of already, above the 80th percent mark now, Jeff. A late death. That is really tough. They're going to have to wait a bit longer for that Jeff to get anywhere near the point while the rest of them are rushing towards it. They need a portal here. Something to get there immediately. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see. Straight onto the point. The portal comes out. Eye of Agamotto going to be needed. Everything's going to be needed, as a matter of fact. Mantis, ult, Brutal, so low. They need heals, and they need them desperately. Somebody send them a Hail Mary. But speaking of Hail Marys, they're jumping in. The Eye of Agamotto. Oh, it's massive. They get them. But the damage isn't there. But they find it. They get both supports down. Looking in for the Wolverine as well. They are focused up on that tank. Oh, so low. They push it back. Steal the point away from them. The opposing Doctor Strange reaching for the skies. They're so low in the back line. If they get this kill, it will be huge. And they will. What a way to stagger them out there. Incredible work coming through from BSDE Infinity Stones. But it's not over yet. The turret's up the front, but you can see Wolverine, they're being devious. They have plans in mind. And they may yet find an enemy portal waiting for them. 95%, and away they go. Rush their way in. Their own Eye of Agamotto is online, but it's shielded. No impact. And they do find a kill at least. Invisible Woman's down. Jeff Bolt comes out. They've managed to catch them in their tracks. Jeff gets shut down immediately, however. Invisible Woman's back off the Rocket Ultimate there. So they're fighting for their lives here. The Lunar Snow single-handedly fights the Punisher. It's all coming unraveled for the Infinity Stones. The MG Bears, the counterattack is just so superb. And just like that, they slide it through to take the first map in their favor. Can you believe this? What an incredible result. The Ultimates just strategically planned out. And it all works out wonderfully. MG Bears take map 1. And more could be following through as well. What an incredible start to the day. But there's still more to where that came from. Because this is a best of 5, don't you ever forget it. And very keen to see what else is going to be unfolding here into the rest of this best of 5. Because there's lots more on the table, lots more on the horizon. But whilst we get map 2 set up, everybody, we are going to head to a short break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back before you know it. Hey, welcome back everybody to AEL High School Marble Rivals Term 1 for our Division 1 Grand Final. As we head into Yggdrasil, we are going to be seeing Map 2 of BSDE Infinity Stones taking on MG Bears. Map number 2 here. MG Bears took Map 1, and it was a hard-fought battle on both sides, I'd say. Very keen to see which way this next map's going to go, because with the way that one went, it could go either way. It could go either way. Absolutely incredible stuff, and keen to see what else is going to be unfolding here. Once we get into the pick ban phase, definitely curiosity is on our side. That's all I'm going to say. Curiosity is certainly on our side, and very keen to see how far that curiosity will come through with here. Looks like we're almost ready to get into the game. I think, just for your information, before we get there, I can see the bans come out from the players. Unfortunately, can't cut into that just yet, but Storm looks to be banned. Cloak and Dagger looks to be banned. Spider-Man and Black Panther. So, once we're all set up and hunky-dory into the game, we should be good to jump in there, but we'll say the picks are looking pretty similar. There we go. Looks like we're able to get in-game now. There we go. There we go. So, MG Bears changed it up a little bit. They got the Hella coming out this time alongside the Wolverine. Both teams are looking to opt in for the Wolverine this time, I think. BSDE Infinity Stones, I suppose they're realizing just how much impact having that Wolverine did have for their opponents. And so they're bringing it out to try and fight them with it as well. I really enjoyed both teams bringing out the Doctor Strange. I feel like that made a big impact for them too. In fact, it's almost a mirror matchup on both sides. It's almost a mirror matchup. The only difference is the Hela and the Winter Soldier. That's the only difference between both of these rosters right now. So you can tell they're locked in to try and optimize their composition and play the very best they can to the best of their abilities. And we'll see just how far they can dig deep into this one. They hold back for a second here. Brutal trying to deal a lot of frontal damage here. They've almost built up quite a lot of energy to take them out there. Speaking of energy to take them out, Squeaker's doing a good job of holding back here. Lots of damage with full rage enabled. They can really get to work on this one. Good healing coming out from the back line as well. Just really try and stop them there. Whoa. That is quite the impressive carry from Wolverine to Wolverine. Speaking of Wolverine, both die immediately. So, that's going to be the Battle of the Wolverines. Both coming back from the dead, though, thanks to Rocket. So, they're going to be good for that. But, you know what else is good? Brutal. It's going to be good to get the heck away from that one as quick as they possibly can. And we'll see what else they are going to be able to do here. Holding back for a second now. And try and see if they can get that whip out, use their shielding, and to get that Chaos Burst through. There comes Rocket. Amplifier coming out. Good ultimate to be locked into there. They can boost their team's damage a little bit here and see what else they might be able to bring it to the table. Certainly going to be a lot on the cards here, but it's not an impossible endeavor. It certainly is possible. Rampage goes down. Good kill from the Hela there. We'll come back from the Rocket, though. I think there's going to be a lot of resurrection cycles. Speaking of cycles, the Eye of Agamotto comes out. Luna's ultimate going to be used in response, though, and it is a great turnout for the MG Bears side here. They get a lot of kills coming through. Good triple from the Hela there. And their teammate also locking in onto the Wolverine. So, great to establish their path forward. Just over 2 minutes, or just under 2 minutes to go for them, apologies. And they're now getting very close to that first checkpoint to really build up their time a little bit more here. But if BSDE Infinity Stones want to stop them a little bit longer, they do have a couple of ultimates they can lock into. Winter Soldier being one, and the Invisible Woman being another one. Looks like they are going to try and hit them off right at the edge of the point there. Rocket, good to lock in with that unlimited bullets for a second there. Eye of Agamotto does come out. Not getting any kills out of it as yet, but they're really just trying to bring all their cars to the table, try and stop them in their tracks here. See if they can catch anyone off guard. Ultimately, Squeakers going to be jumping in now on that Strange. Has switched off Frutal DPS time here. Keen to see what they can do with that one. Frutal certainly been a high impact player on the DPS in the past, and now bring that into the future as well. Lots of damage coming through there. Ooh, keen to see what else is going to be going on here. Ooh,
Much better.
not sure what's going on there. Interesting. And here we go again. Good shots coming out from McBoonoo. Oh, the hook. That was massive. Unfortunately, not able to capitalize off it, though. You can see the enemy team now trying to capitalize off that missed momentum there. See if they can get some impact out of it. Certainly holding back for a second here, though. Really love how well they've been able to hold them off here. But the damage is coming through for McBoonoo now. 2 kills found, and maybe more to follow. Dr. Strange coming back, though. Good use of the rocket utility there. Now Ayavagamoto comes out. McBoonoo, good for a kill. Squeakers jumps in as well, trying to get kill after kill. Frutal gets it done. And speaking of getting it done, BSDE Infinity Stones hold them back. What a result coming through. They do not have far to push at all on this second map.
You'll need a top-notch team to win.
What a way to push forward. You need a top-notch team. Couldn't have said it better yourself, announcer. And we are keen to see the changes. Hello. I saw that Thor hover. That would have been a very big change in momentum for them. But it looks like they are going to stick it out to the tried and tested, Old Faithful, so to speak, on the Doctor Strange there. Looks like both teams now locking in to the Hela as well. So an entire mirror matchup. Well, not really, because Wolverine going to be on one side, whereas on the other, you can see we've got triple healer set up for BSD Infinity Stones here. So opting in for double DPS, triple healer, and the singular tank. Whereas on the upper side, you've got, I suppose, double DPS for MG Bears, if you count Wolverine, and then single tank and triple healer here. So I suppose they're both similar lineups, just different characters in that respect. But very keen to see how it all goes down now. McBoonoo on the Winter Soldier certainly has comboed well with Frutal. They've been teammates for a long time, and they're teammates again in this title too. So let's get into this push phase and see if BSDE Infinity Stones find more luck attacking than their opponents did on their own attacking side, or whether they could be held off and it could be another MG Bears time. We'll see what is going to be laying in wait for them now, though. McBoonoo, ooh, good wind up. Oh, almost hooked him in, but they aren't going to be so successful. Good headshot onto the Hela, though. Going to be holding back for a second here. Really trying to trickle that damage in. Take out some of those healers. My gosh, Hela. Huge shots coming out there. They're really trying to lock in. Oh, the sleep. That was massive. Saving their own life. Forcing themselves forward. Team Woman trying to push them up there. And they're just doing a lot of work from a distance. Really impressed with how they just keep themselves in the fight, but also out of the fight at the same time. Speaking of, there we go. Brutal. Big impact from afar. 2 kills around the back, looking for another one. And there it is. Brutal. Uncontested right now. Their teammates take all the frontal damage, and they just do so much work. Now they have free reign to push the point up and potentially take out this map just like that. If they can keep their enemies in their spawn, that's going to be it. Within the blink of an eye, the map is done. Wow. What an incredible result. So BSDE Infinity Stones bring themselves back and take the second map just like that. So we are certainly going to be going the distance today, folks. It could go all the way to at least 4 maps in this one now, because both teams have taken a map apiece. This is certainly going to be a fun one ahead. I am certain of that. I love the change up in pacing so early into the piece here. And very keen to see what else is going to be on the horizon. Map 2 taken by BSDE Infinity Stones. MG Bears have got to be kicking themselves at that result. They played so well in that first map. I thought they were pretty locked in heading into this second one as well, but the change up in pacing. The Infinity Stones say, nah, it's not happening. We get Frutal back onto the DPS role. They know they can perform, and Squeakers jumps onto the tank there, and you see a full change up in the pacing of how their roster plays. And they manage to lock in and take the map for their own. So now, 1-1, what else is going to be unfolding for the rest of this series? I am so excited to find out. So, before we get into it, let's head to a short break and prepare ourselves for battle. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience. And we are in to the AEL High School Cup, a Marble Rifles Term 1. Grand Final for Division 1. We are going into Shibuya, Tokyo 2099 on Convergence here. And get keen for Marvel BSTE Infinity Stones. Yeah, get keen for Marvel Rivals, certainly. But BSTE Infinity Stones taking on MG Bears here for their third map in this best of 5 grand, a final spectacular extravaganza. And I am oh so keen to see what is on the horizon for this match. We've seen so much already, mate. We've seen so much. And there's more to come. Like, hello? Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But we're getting into it right now. Bands are coming out. Let's jump in. As you can see, we've got Black Panther going bye-bye, Cloak and Dagger going bye-bye too, and it could be Winter Soldier and Storm to follow through. So, liking the bands coming out already, but I can see a very, very different lineup on both sides immediately. One thing we almost never see is coming out, the Black Widow. And, or not, goodbye Black Widow. And potentially seeing the Psylocke. We have seen Psylocke come out from some teams before, but it's also not a common pick there. Ooh, hello, Iron Man. Actually going to be coming out. First time we've seen Iron Man today, so definitely keen to see how that one plays out. Speaking of how things play out, Frutal going to continue to don that DPS role there. Squeakers sticking out on tank there onto the Doctor Strange. And Magic going to be opted into by the Sneaky Chops 43 there. So definitely keen to see how the teams play things out on Shibuya. as we get into the game right now. And I am super duper keen to see what they are going to be able to achieve heading into this next one. Fun games ahead, to say the least, and even more
3, 2,
going to be on its way in just a moment.
stop them from securing the mission area.
As they get into it, stop them from securing the mission area. I sure hope so. But we'll see what they are going to be able to do now. As we do get into it, Stick Back is second here. Heels coming out from Goose Doom. Jet looking to hold it their ground towards the front of the point here. BSDE Infinity Stones taking a bit of damage there. You can really see they're struggling to find their potential, find their mark here. As MG Bears have taken almost complete control of the point. Speaking of complete control, we almost saw a good kill from McBoonoo, but Fruital going to be the one to lock in this time. Iron Man, the opposing side, doing a lot of good work here to try and isolate them with their lasers. They are finding good shots with the rockets as well, just really trying to just poke them down slowly but surely here. Hold on to that choke point and just wipe out those shields. Speaking of wiping out, Iron Man now getting targeted here by McBoonoo on the Spider-Man. It is an effective target for the lasers if they can line them up in the right timing, but they do get away from this one. And they will be able to find Squeakers as well. Good trade coming out there. Iron Man's down. Might be able to isolate some more of the kills here now. As they push on in. Spider-Man very close to an ultimate too here. So if they want to look into that, that could be a really good way to open things up. Amplifier comes out. They're building up that percentage now though. Ooh, Spider-Man really deep into enemy lines here. Thinking about how to get that damage through. And they will be able to push them out, get that point a little bit closer. They haven't put it to the first checkpoint yet though. That's an important note there, very close to it. Magic going to be really stopping them here. Ultimate is available as well should they need to activate it. Their teammates right around the corner as a matter of fact, but ultimately not going to be able to do it just yet. Good little rebound from the side of MG Bears there. They do get very, very close.
I am ready to put on a show.
There you go, the point. Looking to push in. Good ult from Spider-Man as well, but that is the counter for the ages. Pulse Bomb. Huge. Using the laser as well, but they will be found by Fruital. But my word, that was a trade for damage if I've ever seen it. And they did manage to lock it in. A goodbye to Magic. Now BSD Infinity Stones finally get it past that first tick. Close towards the second. It's looking like it's going to head straight towards the next push here onto the payload. And there we go. Forced to fall back and look to try and stop them at the next section. Certainly a very solid effort, however, coming through from the MG Bears. They really managed to stop them for quite some time there. But they're already losing a few members on the beginning of this approach, so they need to just try and hold back, see if they can work together. Speaking of Sneaky Chops, hello Fruital, and good night. Great way to play a very sneaky approach. It looks like they've opted into the ultimate as well, really just trying to just separate some of these players from each other, see if they can get some kills through, stagger them out so they can't push into this one together and work as a team. They really want to separate them as much as they possibly can at this point. Speaking of separation, Fruital doing a good job to isolate also here, trying to get damage through on the front line. Doctor Strange is in a world of pain right now, and more pain could be on the horizon there. Speaking of on the horizon, if they can get that Strange shield down, they might even be able to activate that Hela ultimate and really tap in to some dangerous thoughts here. Some dangerous things. Speaking of dangerous things, Hela ultimate comes through, but Iron Man is just locked into that right click. Almost shuts down the Hela ultimate completely, but no one shuts it down in the end. I saw Fruital got to pretty low health on the ult there, but looks like no one was able to hold on long enough to really shut it down entirely. So it kept it open for BSD Infinity Stones to capitalize upon there. Now, looking to approach forward. See if they can get that car closer and closer towards the next checkpoint here. Iron Man up in the skies, but I mean, they've got things to deal with it, you know? They've got Hela,
Put some pep in my step.
and they've also got Spider-Man, who can go for those opportunities as well. So it's real dangerous. Speaking of danger, Pulse Bomb available now. This could be a big one. There it is. Maximum Pulse does manage to find at least one kill on a rampage there, trying to see if they can find anyone else around the bend as well. Strange taking so much damage right now, and they need to fall back and need to fall back quick. But speaking of trades, it's going to be brutal. Finding at least one back, getting closer and closer to that Iron Man. Oh my gosh, they're jumping straight into it. They're diving, and they do get it. McBoonoo assists their teammate, take out one of the prime damage dealers there, and they will be capitalizing. I saw the Eye of Agamotto come out as well. Exactly what they are going to be needing there. Try and keep their teammates alive and keep them in to play here. And they are finding all the kills they need. That's the checkpoint. Achievement unlocked. So, one step closer towards taking it the full distance, but they still have a lot more ground to cover here. 2.5 minutes to go. It's going to be an uphill battle, but not an impossible one to say the least. So let's see if they can manage to lock in here and take even more control. Stop that vehicle. Certainly going to be the objective there. Speaking of objectives, Frutal goes good night. Good shots coming out from Iron Man and the Lunar Snow there. Here's Spider-Man. Jumps into the back line. Really great impact. Does find the Invisible Woman there. I can find a lot more of that healing potential shut down, but I mean, sure, they shut down the healing potential, but Iron Man is doing work right now with that laser. They managed to get so much damage over time there with a laser, and they managed to use the rockets just to really seal the deal for themselves. So unless they can shut down that Iron Man, they're going to have even more problems. But it's not just Iron Man they need to worry about. Speaking of Iron Man, oh, what a stun coming through. Frutal really keen to stop them. Speaking of keen to stop them, they are just jumping around with the ultimate right now, trying to shut down some of the backline there. Look at that. They've got the damage coming through. No kills yet. There's one. They finally catch one. Trying to see if they can get the rocket now. Trying to get back to their team as quick as they can. They realize Iron Man's the one they need to be worrying about. They take out Iron Man now, trying to get up high again. See if they can find the rocket or find something around the corner here. Nothing going to be located as yet. Speaking of, good night to Sneaky Chop. And maybe more could be following through in a second as well. The damage coming over the top now. They're really trying to push in and make them work for it here. Doctor Strange feeling the punishment, but does get healed straight back up. Rocket now ulting. Get the amplifier out there. Amplify your team's damage and do a little bit more with it. Pulse Bomb available as well for Iron Man here. Trying to jump in and stop them in their tracks, but they're just being hindered by little bits and pieces of everyone's abilities. Still, MG Bear's close, but Spider-Man, good ult, finds 3 out of that one. Eye of Agamotto comes out, trying to deal some counter damage in the backline there, but it can only do so much. Spider-Man still alive, still kicking, finds Doctor Strange. They are pushing it up. Final seconds remaining here. Both teams finding losses, but it could be enough to push it straight over the line here. You can see they're trying to stop it back in spawn. Goodbye to Iron Man. Goodbye to some of their chances here. Rocket almost falling as well by the wayside. They're still trying to get onto the point here, trying to do whatever they can. It's a stagger in. Is it going to be enough, though? That's going to be the big question here. They're doing all they can, giving it their all. Rise or fall. Who will rise to the occasion? Maximum Pulse does find Rampage. That's going to be a big one, but Brutal catches the Iron Man again, and now locking in onto the healers. They aren't able to find them. Do get shut down by McBoonoo, though. Eye of Agamotto comes out. That's going to be a big one. Rocket goes down with it. They still have other players to worry about, however, and they are just raining in player after player, layer after layer. Everybody's coming through. No one going down. Jeff ults, though. Oh, it's massive. They throw out their teammates, take away the enemies. And that is finally going to be the push coming through. Down to the last moment. They get it over the line in OT. MG Bears have quite a big amount of work to go for here if they want to match a full map distance push. Very keen to see what they are going to be able to push through in this one. It is certainly going to be a difficult endeavor, to say the least, but not an impossible one. And I am keen as can be to see what they're going to be able to do heading into the rest of this one. And let's see if they can make this one theirs. Should we hold back a second longer now and get things ready for action? MG Bears on the push this time. BSDE Infinity Stones on the defense. Not many big changes across both sides, although Sneaky Chops has opted in for the Namor this time. So very keen to see how that's going to play out for them. Whether they're going to be able to find a bit more impact off the double DPS here. Or whether they could be caught between a rock and a hard place as we jump into it again.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
What are they like? These other worlds where I
Here we go. Iron Man spotted. Does get nullified a little bit, but takes a bit of damage. Frutal good to support their teammate, however. Goodbye to Iron Man. And perhaps goodbye to Moore. Trying to make the most of their frontal damage here. See if they can hold them off of that choke point. Namor now being impacted. Oh, the damage is so close, yet so far. Spider-Man forced to get the heck out of there as fast as they possibly can. Otherwise, they are going to be gone from this game for a moment. But maybe not a moment longer. Taking out the terrain though. Hella up high to the sky. They help their teammates sink the enemy down low. Too slow. And let's see how the rest of these kills are going to flow. Spider-Man, Frutal jumping in on the back line again. MG Bears struggling to deal with them, considering they're attacking from all angles and have such mobility and utility here. It's a tough one to try and challenge, but they do challenge and take down the tank. But I mean, with Rocket, the tank comes straight back. Say goodbye to Squeakers and hello again. Speaking of hello though, hello to Psylocke. They've changed it up. They've opted out of Iron Man. They realize they aren't able to impact as well as they would like with that one. They're going to change it up. Psylocke on point now. And let's see if they can make this one achievable now. It's a good change up from them. I really enjoy the pacing here, but are they going to be able to do it? That's the big question, isn't it? Hella ultimate available. Here we go. Hell is unleashed. They are trying to get that damage through, and they do quite a bit of it, as a matter of fact. And no kill yet. Ooh, there goes one. And they are at least doing a good job to force them back here. Spider-Man also keeping them in check in the back line. Frutal finds another one onto Namor there. Getting disjointed time after time here for the team in blue. MG Bears. Amplifier up as well. The damage just keeps pumping through time and time again here for BSDE Infinity Stones. They're finding all the kills they can. All the kills are coming through, but Psylocke locks in for two of their own. Two healers down, or one remains, and they might even find them. Trying to stall out the point here. They need a hero desperately. Oh, they won't get a hero. They will get an enemy, though. They almost have an opportunity on the Frutal, as a matter of fact. I think they were on 1 HP. Yep. Certainly were. Not going to hunt down that kill, though, so they will find the healing pad, and now allows them an opportunity to push up, but Lunar Snow back on point. Ultimate locked in. And there's the counter to come through as well. We'll see what else they are going to be able to do. No more ults, trying to see if they can stop them in their tracks. Squeakers goes down, so no tank on the point now for BSD Infinity Stones. Eye of Agamotto comes out as well. That is exactly what you need for MG Bears there. Need those ultimates to just push you over the line here. And we're one step closer to that push phase there onto the payload. With seconds certainly made their impact, but is that a portal way here? No way. Trying to see if they can stop them, but it looks like they've given up on that idea. And they will let it run through for the push phase. Oh, but here we go. They're jumping straight back in. They don't care it's gotten back into the push phase. They're going to be looking to push over the top. Try and stop them, it would seem. And it seems that hasn't worked quite as they would have been planned here. So forced to fall back for a second longer now. MG Bears, though, have pushed it over the line. Earned themselves a little bit more time to play with now. Now that the gates have closed, now have to push around that and try and get back on to the point here. Here comes the Hella ultimate. We're back into it. Huge stuff coming out. Strange shield doing great work to stop them. And let's see what is going to be on the way through now. Frutal. Sticking back here. Spider-Man ult is available. And there it is. Huge impact from McBooner. That's one way to mop the floor with your enemies. And they look to find the final kills as well. That is how you turn the tides, everybody. And they will be able to keep them at bay a while longer. 1 minute and 42 seconds to go here for MG Bears to try and push it to the next checkpoint. Are they going to be able to manage this one? Are they going to be able to achieve their objective? A certain question. And will it be answered? That's the question. But we jump into it. Psylocke, good kill, does get resurrected though. Frutal's down, Squeakers to follow. Everybody seems to be going down one after the other now. MG Bears back driving through. McBooner trying to stick around for a while longer, see if they can get to the healing pad in good time there, but they are going to be shut down. So, MG Bears back in it, halfway through towards the checkpoint. And plenty more work to do as we pass by the minute mark. No more. Good use of their sentries on the point as well. Dish out that additional damage there. Their turret's doing a good job. I have Agamotto available here. Oh my gosh. Look at that. That is massive. They managed to stop them in their tracks there. And get a lot of work done with it. 30 seconds to go though. Are they going to be able to do something here? We got 4 ults available now for the side of MG Bears. Barely any time. A portal comes in. This is huge. Is this going to be it? It is. The Eye of Agamotto. It stopped. Oh, it stopped. What a way to get it done. It's been stopped in its tracks. And they counter immediately. Brutal locks in with the ulti. It's all going down right now. Oh my word. They're fighting the Psylocke. Good night. We're into the OT timer. And it could be the good night timer. All the ultis are locked in. All the abilities are locked in. And BSDE Infinity Stones. Send them packing. Take a second map of their own. And that is going to be 1-2 in their favor. The third map is locked and loaded for the Infinity Stones. Frutal, the MVP on Hella. And what a way to get it done. Incredible efforts coming through for both sides there. But the Infinity Stones, they take it. And now, all that remains is a potential 1 or 2 more maps. As it's a best of 5, we're 1-2, so we're onwards to map 4. Will BSDE Infinity Stones be able to take this one and be our grand final champions here in Term 1 of the AEL High School Cup? Or will it be MG Bears taking one more map to go all the way down to a decider, a map 5? We'll find out right after this break. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the AEL High School Cup Term 1 Grand Final for Division 1 here. We have our 4th map on the card now. Match point, series point for BSDE Infinity Stones. If they win this one, they will win the game or win the series entirely. And MG Bears, if they win this one, we go to map 5 on our best of 5 series. So, keen to see how this 4th and potentially final map could go down now as we jump in to the pick band phase. And let's see if we see the same thing again or something new. So, bands locked in. Our first band are looking to be Black Panther and Storm this time. I can see the MG Bears immediately are looking at Hella. I think it's good that they've clued into that, in the sense that Frutal has just been absolutely dominating on Hella for the last 2 maps in a row. So if they lock that in, entirely fair enough, because Frutal has been going wild on that Hella, and they do not want to see that again. So, picks coming out now. Frutal did hover the Hella. Probably going to pick something else now. I'm curious what they changed to. But, I mean, sure, Frutal did great on Hella. That's undeniable, but McBoonoo also made a large impact on that Spider-Man. And that's not something you can discount. McBoonoo was huge. But speaking of huge, Frutal now has switched it up to go into Namor. We saw that Namor was still an impact maker for them earlier. So I'm curious to see how this change-up does actually affect their pacing. Because we saw, you know, BSDE Infinity Stones were able to edge it through in the last couple. And they really relied heavily on that Hella to play around. But curious to see how it all plays out in this one. As we've got DPS wires on both sides, we have the Namors coming out. The difference now being the Punisher and Spider-Man for the Infinity Stones. So they're going 3 DPS, 2 healers, and 1 tank, with Thor coming out. Very curious to see how that'll play out. But I mean, on the attacking phase, maybe it works. Speaking of working, though, let's see if the 3 healers, 2 DPS, 1 tank setup goes well for MG Bears right now. As they hold back here. Lots of damage done to Squeakers immediately. Goodbye to Wind Soldier. Speaking of goodbyes, though, could be seeing a hello in a second. McBoonoo trying to hold back here. See if they can do some damage to some of the frontliners. Hold back for a second longer. Frutal does take a little bit of punishment, though. So it looks like the approach not working out so well for the Infinity Stones this time. Losing that Hella already being felt. And curious to see how they will be able to feel heading forward in to the rest of this one now. As they hold back a second longer here. Namor on Frutal this time. Holding back. They've got their sentries prepared. Trying to deal a bit of damage from behind there. The sentry does get shut down, but they do find the opposing Namor. Good trade-off on the damage department, though. Namor going to be brought back by Racquetz, a little passive there. Her ability, so good to utilize their utility. Punisher goes down as well, so good to shut those players down and take out some of the pieces there. Invisible Woman does push them back, though, away from the point. Try and gain a bit of ground here. Has certainly been a troublesome approach forward, however. They almost managed to take out the Strange there, I saw, but the damage ultimately a little bit too grand. Speaking of grand, though, Squeakers enters in with a grand approach, taking out at least 1 player, trying to isolate out their opponents again. Fire Bakamoto is available as well here, should they use it. We'll see if they get an opportunity to do just that in a second. More ultimate coming out as well. Strange doing a lot of damage for MG Bears as well. They managed to find a good couple of kills through here. But there's still going to be more on the horizon, as a matter of fact. Let's see if they can manage to get the job done. There we go. Jeffold comes out. Ooh, Strange taken. This is actually really big, because Strange has been their biggest problem, and now their biggest problem is gone. So they can push that point forward with confidence now, because they've lost the enemy tank. But speaking of tanks, they've lost their own tank. And now might even lose a little bit more. The Winter Soldier Locked in with that ultimate there. Uh-oh, there we go. It's going again. And they will be able to keep hold of that and stay on track on the point here. And the ult will reach its conclusion. So good response back from MG Bears there. That was huge from them. Only just over a minute to go for the Infinity Stones now, and Frutal has changed it up again. Moon Knight looking to be opted into here. Curious to see how this one works out for them. They're building up ult charge like no tomorrow, so this could actually be quite good. They can bring out that ult circle real quick, but maybe not. Shots coming out. Good use of the rocket utility there. Get a lot of damage through. Unlimited ammo for the Winter Soldier for that matter. Just try and deal with their opponents as quick as they possibly can. I feel like in terms of this point, one more team fight is all they're going to really be afforded. Otherwise, it could be the point done and dusted, and we could see the sides switched basically at the flip of a coin, which is crazy to think about. So BSD Infinity Stones absolutely struggling right now to try and find an answer here. And here comes the eye of Agamotto straight onto the point there. Good, a couple of players impacted. Big impact players at that. Strange and Luna down, but Strange is back thanks to that rocket utility. So that's going to be problematic. Speaking of problematic, here comes Winter Soldier's ultimate. They're going again and finding Frutal. Oh my, but Winter Soldier is down. That is going to be a big one. Losing that one and fighting the player off by the wayside. Strange isolating the Luna as well. They're trading blow for blow here as we're into the OT phase of the push. We'll see if they are going to be able to find the kills necessary to keep this point alive, or whether the point could be disappearing by the wayside. Strange still alive on the point though, trying to see if they can keep this one at bay, but as they lose some of their teammates, it becomes clearer and clearer that now the opportunity is here for the Infinity Stones. They push it closer and closer, and at long last, they get it over the line. 2.5 minutes now afforded to them to push on to the next objective, the next checkpoint. But my gosh, did they have to work for it? It's been a hard-fought battle indeed. But now, they've changed it up. Frutal is Spider-Man, Winter Soldier McBoonoo. And we could see a very large change of pace here. Because we know both of these players, very interchangeable characters, and they have great synergy. So curious to see how this one will work out for them. And we know Frutal likes to get in their face, really take the challenge to them, and really see how things can go down. Here we go. Jumping into the battlefield once again. Good attack, and both Strangers go down there. Luna goes down as well. One Strange going to be back for MG Bears, though. Rocket's utility coming in full force again. McBoonoo trying to hold back there. Do find the opposing Winter Soldier. And we'll see what else they are going to be able to find here. Doctor Strange does take out the Luna there. And now the Jeff ultimate comes out. This is massive. They're right over the edge. Oh, Goose Doom gets the job done. Frutal. There it is. Psylocke. We saw Psylocke come out from Frutal into the early weeks of the competition, and now it's back. We know that Frutal can really lock in with that character. And now they are certainly doing just that to try and push their team over the line. See if they can get this one through to the end. But we're back into the again zone. Winter Soldier jumped into that one, trying to get a bit more potential out of it. Not really going to be able to find too much from it at this point, but the point's still going to be alive, still kicking. And just seconds remain here. Are they going to be able to push it over the checkpoint, or will it change up and go again? We're going again right now. McBoonoo trying to get a kill there. Not going to be able to isolate it. Not going to be able to get it through over the top. So the defense prevailing in this instance. Jeff goes down. The overtime timer is trickling through. Will they be able to get anyone there in time? No, they will not. So the second checkpoint is not locked in. It's going to be MG Bears now on the attack. And they've managed to mitigate the distance they need to travel in order to try and find victory here. A difficult defense ahead for BSDE Infinity Stones. And very keen to see how they change the pace here. How they try and respond to this one. And it looks like they've already formulated a plan of attack. Frutal on the Strange. McBoonoo sticking it out on Winter Soldier. Squeakers this time opting in for Wolverine. Loki going to be locked in for Rampage. Luna Snow on to the other end. Jeff for the rest. But MG Bears sticking it out. They've got the Invisible Woman, Rocket, Doctor Strange, Winter Soldier, Luna Snow, and no more. So, sticking it out through their tried and tested composition here for MG Bears. Curious to see how they'll respond to the Infinity Stones, though. I really like the opportunity that the Infinity Stones have with that Wolverine, because having that Strange up front has just been massive for the MG Bears. Like, the Infinity Stones have really struggled to try and deal with the rest of the pieces just due to that iron wall that's been in front of them with the Doctor Strange. We love to see the Loki up front. How do they know which Loki's the real Loki when all of them are standing still? But I find a bit of realization now. McBoonoo locked in with the rocket utility there. Good to get a few more bullets through and a little bit quicker at that. But MG Bears already trying to push up here, looking to hold very closely. Doctor Strange already onto the point, and Squeakers goes down. So it will be brought back, though, by the Rocket, and they're going to be able to try and shut down them more in the back line. Good to jump into the invulnerability bubble there. But Wolverine, oh, so close to that one. They almost got the Invisible Woman. But you can see the impact that they're already having, right? They're already trying to isolate the enemies and really just keeping them on their toes here. So it's forcing them to take a little bit more time to calculate their approach forward, which does allow them to really hold back. But speaking of hold back, MG Bears held back long enough to get the amplifier out there. Rocket now giving them a little bit of a booster to try and propel themselves towards that first checkpoint. They've got them over 2.5 minutes as well to try and get the job done. So very curious to see if they can find it. The ultimate's out for the Winter Soldier there. Goodbye to Loki. Maybe more in a second. Winter Soldier finds the opposing Winter Soldier. Doesn't opt to hunt down that kill, though, because as long as their team's gaining distance, they don't need to hunt down the kills. But Strange is certainly going to find one. Maybe not, though. Luna's ultimate comes out. Delay that point a little bit longer. I love that they can do that. Just delay the point, try and play and get their teammates back into the fold here. But, I mean, it's going to be a tough one regardless of what they do, right? But at least they're able to delay the time a little more. Speaking of time, Strange is down now. Amplifier comes out from BSDE Infinity Stones, and Frutal gets major damage through. 5 kills out for their team. That is massive. Tremendous comeback right at the final critical moment for the Infinity Stones there. A really great use of the Luna ultimate to keep that point alive. Just really tapping into their abilities. And speaking of abilities, there's a portal on the loose, and here comes the enemies. They've got the Eye of Agamotto to worry about, though. Speaking of, there it is! Oh, it's out, and it gets all the healers. That is huge coming out from Frutal. They tried to portal through, but it has been dealt with immediately. This is exactly what you want to be seeing from the Infinity Stones. The Again ultimate is out again, but it's not able to do it again. They do shut it down almost immediately, hunting down Rocket Raccoon as well. Trying to shut them down on the wall. Good night, Rocket. And that is some staggered deaths out there. The impact from BSDE Infinity Stones is huge, but there's still time yet left for the MG Bears, but they've just lost their tank, and they may yet lose more players as well. Magic does go down, though. Squeakers is out of here. They can't afford to push too far forward here. Otherwise, that's an opportunity available for the Bears. Infinity Stones need to hold back desperately. The time is ticking here, everyone. This could be a final critical moment. Eye of Agamotto is available as well. Are they going to be able to activate it here for the Bears? That would be massive. Speaking of, they go again. The ultimate's out. McBoodoo's going crazy right now, trying to shut down at least somebody in the back line. But the Eye of Agamotto comes out. It doesn't deal the impact they need it to. Magic being cheeky in the backline as well. They're chopping them down, not even looking at Magic right now. This is massive for the Infinity Stones. They managed to chop through them one player at a time. But speaking of players, they've found some impact for the MG Bears as well. They're still in it, still alive, still kicking. But just like that, they're not on the point. And the Infinity Stones get the job done. They've taken control. It's a successful hold, and they are your grand final champions. MVP from none other than a Frutal on the Doctor Strange. What a way to get it done there. Incredible impact coming out from them. My gosh, the battle of the gods certainly has been felt today, everybody. Cannot believe what we have just witnessed. It was quite the spectacle, quite the game, and quite the series, to say the least. You can't ask for anything more or anything less from the AEL High School Cup. Marble Rivals Term 1, as we have our champions across both divisions. AEL High Schools Competition is just a wonderful one indeed. But that is going to be that for our series for the day, everybody, for Term 1, as a matter of fact. Wow. What an incredible first term we've had. An incredible first cycle of Marble Rivals on the table. Our students are giving it their all week after week in this term, and they have done a tremendous job representing their individual schools there and really just showing what they're made of. What a way to get it done. Cannot believe it. Very impressed, to say the least, and very keen to see what else we'll be seeing from our students heading forward into future competition as well. Big shout out to each and every one of them for participating, and a big shout out to our champions as well. What a way to get it done. But speaking of shout outs, everybody, we want to say a big shout out to none other than our sponsors. That's right, it's sponsors time. And let's say a big shout out to, first and foremost, AGON by AOC, the gaming monitor partner. Or the #1 gaming monitor partner brand in the world. AGON by AOC provide best-in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. But next up on the fight card, everybody, it's Indomie, the noodle partner. Made with high-quality flour and selected ingredients and spices, a plate of Indomie mee goreng will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavors available today from your local grocer or at indomie.com.au. Last but not least, everybody, it is none other than NoVape. Big shout out to NoVape. The AEL, in partnership with the Department of Health and Aged Care, is promoting our You've Got No Game When You Vape campaign. Do you know the harms and risks of vaping? For more information, head to health.gov.au/vaping. If you'd like help to quit, check out the My Quit Buddy app. It tracks your progress and helps you stay motivated. Or you can call Quitline on 137848 and talk to a professional counselor for free and confidential advice about quitting. So big shout out to each and every one of our sponsors there for helping us put on such a wonderful show, and a big shout out to each and every one of you. But speaking of shout outs, a big shout out to AEL. Make sure you check us out on social media, AU Esports League, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you name it, we are there. And make sure you check out some of our other competitions. We are going to be kicking off our university leagues in the coming week, so get keen for that, everybody. More competitions on the horizon, and definitely excited to see them. But that's going to be all from us for today, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to the AEL High School Competition for Marvel Rivals Term 1, and we'll see you again in Term 2.